Hey everybody, it's Kat, DixieDX, and Rhea in 2RJ on Two Chicks in a Radio tonight. How's everybody doing?
All right, how is everybody? I hope you hear me good. I have a different camera and audio arrangement tonight, so hopefully we don't have any of the usual technical snafus. I know you guys tune in for that, so all right. So we're gonna have a pretty decent show tonight. We've kind of reoriented the show into more or less learning and elmering and teaching, and you could probably guess who's going to be doing the teaching, but
Not me.
right. So tonight we're actually going to talk about, a few days ago, might have been yesterday on Ham Radio 2.0, there was a interview with David Minster and A2AA, and he basically said, you know, if you're an ARRL member, which I'm an ARRL Life and Diamond member. I'm hoping one day Kat could be a member.
I'm a member of the ARRL.
Oh, you are?
Yeah,
Oh, cool.
I'm just
See,
like
I didn't
this.
even check.
I'm just
I
like
could
a, I'm
check,
just like a standard member though. I'm like the
That's fine.
standard
You know what?
regular grade member. The lackey.
You know what? It doesn't matter. Whatever level. We still get QST magazine and we still have the same benefits. So there, you know.
There you
But
go.
so David was actually on and he was talking about how, members of the ARRL, you could probably go out and evangelize a little bit, but we're not going to be evangelizing in the name of Hiram Percy Maxim. No, we're not going to do that. We're going to talk about, though, kind of like tonight, we're going to give you guys some ideas, not just for the ARRL, but also for amateur radio, in terms of why we exist, one, two, how the public could see us, and three, how we could probably convince other people to join us, to join our ranks. Because, I mean, we have how much, like almost 800,000 hams in the US now. Worldwide, it's a few million. And there are several reasons that we want to expand our ranks and keep it growing. But the public, is kind of, they're not aware. So anyway, all right. So, but first, we always start out with the news. And Kat is going to take the news today.
Awesome. Well, I'm sure everybody knows by now. However, for the few that don't, our good friend Steve Goodgame, K5ATA, has joined ARRL. So,
Not as a member.
not as a member, though. He is a manager of the Education and Learning Department, formerly the Lifelong Learning Center. Lifelong Learning Department. So now he is currently working for the ARRL. Congratulations, Steve.
Yay! It's always good to have good people, and I've seen the good work that he's doing, especially with the Padawans and all these, all his educational efforts. And I'm really, really glad that David made that pick and that David brought him on board. So 2 cheers for Steve. I saw Steve in July.
I saw Steve in August.
Yeah, and he was doing the Shack tour with Joe Karsha. So
yes, he called me the short one, and I was like, "Well, I'm not the only short one."
Yeah, he was in Huntsville, right?
Yeah, he was in Huntsville.
Oh, okay, that's
Yes.
perfect. All right.
I told him he can, him being so tall and me being so short. I said, "There's no wonder you couldn't see me."
Yeah, well, yeah.
I thought I'd make a little kick out of it. I mean, it was better than nothing. I mean, jeez.
Yeah. Well, that's awesome. And ARRL has really gone deep. They're actually going, full into YouTube and digital content. So
yes,
that's really good.
And I met David Minster too as well.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I do have a project I need to talk to you on sometime, but we'll offline.
Offline, of course. Is that going to be our usual after the after oh crap, the broadcast.
After the show.
After the show.
Yeah, when I used to work in the industry,
In the
yeah, there
industry.
was like a after the show we used to have for our morning show, and then after the show they used to be on the web and such. Yeah, I know what you're talking about. But yeah, no, I'll talk to you about it afterwards. It's something exciting.
Well, starting next week, I have tons of meetings. I looked at my calendar and I was like, oh well.
Okay. Well, good luck in your meetings. All right. So, what else is in the news?
What else is in the news is ARRL awards Colvin Grant to the latest Bouvet Island DX expedition.
Right. So that's the 3Y0J, the
Yes.
expedition. And
Uh-huh.
that yeah, go
Isn't
ahead.
that the island that we were talking about that's like right above Antarctica?
Yeah, pretty much. It is it's a very inaccessible island. It's like it's very hard to get to, and then once you're there, you have to actually get on the island. And so far, two teams have tried and they've failed. And then one other team that tried is going to try again. That's not this team. And then the other team is going to this new team that was awarded the grant is with Kenneth Upscar. I forgot his LA7GIA, I think, and he is a well-known de-expeditioner, and he's going to be trying to go to Bouvet, and so they've been getting a lot of financial support from the foundations and such like
And
that. So
apparently,
yeah.
the 3Y0J team, their overall budget is $650,000, and this is the by most expensive expedition ever.
Yep. Oh yeah. I imagine they would be more than that. You have to get a boat and to go down the Antarctic. It's not cheap.
No, not cheap at all.
Yeah. All right. So what else is in the news?
Well, unfortunately, the Tokyo Ham Fair 2021 is canceled.
Oh well, you know, and that it's really sad. I mean, we take two steps forward and we take two steps back. But it's
Well, COVID sucks.
yeah,
So
yeah.
it is
I
what it
hope
is.
out 2022 could come off. I might go to 2022, believe it or not.
Well, if I got the money, I might just go to 2022 too, because I've never been out of the country
I'm
ever.
gonna be at I'm gonna be at Orlando in 2022, if they have it. I mean, I'm hoping they have it. I'm really
Well,
hoping things get better that they have it.
I'm hopefully I can. It just depends on my work schedule and whether or not I'll get to go.
Yeah, I
Because
have to go. I have to go because it's an ARRL National Convention. We have
well,
those every few
I
years.
know you have to go. I don't know if I'm going to be able to go.
Well, yeah, Well, I'm pretty sure a lot of the other, YouTubers will be there too, so we'll see how that goes. All right.
Yeah.
Okay. Any other news?
The Braveheart is still. I guess it's that. It's the DX Expedition boat.
Yeah, the ship.
Yes. Yes, ship. Sorry, Braveheart ship. Yes. Is to remain available for the amateur radio expedition.
Okay. Yeah, so for those who don't know, there is a ship called the Braveheart. It was owned by a guy named Nigel Jolly from New Zealand. And Nigel, he has piloted the expeditions to a lot of remote places. And he's well known in the amateur radio community. And then he decided to sell the ship. I don't know why. He decided to sell the ship. And I don't know what he's doing now, if he got out of the business or whatever. So we needed to, as in the amateur radio community, needed to find somebody to do it. And Ham Radio Adventure guy asked if we have brownies. But then that kind of left the community scrambling for a ship. And then what happened is eventually, they reach an agreement with the new owners to get the ship for de-expeditions. So that's good news. So that means we'll be able to go to far off places and have de-expeditions. It's good news.
So yeah, that's really good news.
All right. Okay, so that is the news.
That is the news.
All right. So, as I mentioned earlier, we're talking about ham radio's elevator pitch. You know, when you talk to somebody, they see all these radios, and Kat, what sort of comments have you gotten from people about amateur radio when they find out you're an amateur radio operator?
Well, people are like, what is that?
Uh-huh.
And then I give them the short spew without having to go into every detail and make it sound like very technical. I say, well, it's a radio and it has an antenna on it. Simple stuff. Man explanation here. Man explaining. And let's say you get lost in the woods somewhere and you got the radio.
Mm-hmm.
You can at least, try to communicate with people if you're lost and they can find you. Kind of like, hold on, you're going to laugh about this.
Okay, I'm good to laugh. I can use a laugh.
Okay, this music artist got lost on his own property and called the police.
That wouldn't be Bon Jovi, right?
No,
my mind is in Jersey.
I'm going to share it. Give me a second.
Okay.
You're going to laugh. Let's see here. Here we go. Kane Brown gets lost on his own property. His new 38-acre property when he was found.
Oh my gosh.
Yes. So anyway, that's what happened. So let's say, for the heck of it,
yeah,
you didn't have a phone.
Right.
You probably need a radio.
Right.
Because obviously he can't even go on his own property and walk 3,000 feet without getting lost.
Yeah, did he? I wonder if he even had cell phone signal where he was.
Apparently he did. He did. So that's how he was able to get the police.
Oh, okay. Imagine if he didn't have cell phone signal. He would be up the creek without a paddle.
Exactly. So he'd be lost. And apparently the temperature dropped and it began to rain.
Yeah, and the other thing is that now I notice a lot of overlanders and Jeep people, Jeep club people are getting into ham radio because they want reliable communications off road. And hey, you know what? If that works, it works. And it's not only like the little handheld radios, but you can use things like APRS, right? Where you can, you know what APRS is, do you? Yes. No?
Remind me.
So APRS is a system of where one, you can send messages via packet radio, right, over the radio.
Yes. Okay. Yes.
Two, and this is an important one. You can send your location, right? So like you have radios like the Kenwood D74 and the Yaesu FD3DR and the 5DR. You can use those, have APRS capability out of the box, basically, right? So you can set those up on APRS. I have the Kenwood D74, and I was walking around at a ham fest the other day, and there were other hams with APRS, and I was getting their beacons too. That was something else. Yeah. So anyway, that's interesting. So that is one of the purposes of ham radio.
Yes, so that's an amazing point right there. So when I tell people this, and I tell them, well, if you get lost or something, you're out in the woods and you have radio, you can at least call out for help. Or if you don't have cell phone signal, you have a radio. And they look at me like crazy. So I'm just like, whatever. I say, just go look it up and then you'll figure it out. And that's what I say, because they're just like, chickapoo for Cuckoo Puffs or something, I swear.
So let me ask you something. You know where I'm from originally, right?
Yes.
Okay, so I'm from Trinidad and Tobago in the Caribbean, for those who don't know. And one of the things about living, well, you're in the Gulf Coast too, so you're not really on the coast, but
no, I'm 6 miles out, but still the same thing. Go on.
Right. Okay. Oh, I'm more inland than you. I'm like 50, 60 miles inland. So in the Caribbean, we get
Mhm.
lashed by hurricanes very often, right? I
Mhm.
remember in, I like, in like the 1990s, or was it the 80s, there was Hurricane Gilbert that hit Jamaica, and there were a few other hurricanes. Every time those hurricanes come by, they flatten the islands, and I mean like their telecommunications are completely gone. And I'll show you a scene here from um, a one of the things pictures here. Okay,
Okay.
so here is a scene from Hurricane Irma in the Caribbean. Right, they get flooded
Mhm.
out, and I mean, a lot of those countries don't have infrastructure like we do in the U.S. So
Right.
especially a poor country like Haiti, you'll find that they
Yeah.
get flattened. You know,
Yeah, and Haiti just have a earthquake, I think. It was a really bad earthquake, wasn't it?
yeah, they do. They did. They did. I don't think it was in Port-au-Prince, was it? I'm not sure where it was. But yeah, they had one, and they have natural disasters, and natural disasters tend to hit the Caribbean hard. Here in
Right.
the United States, we have a lot of resiliency in terms of our communications. Our government spend billions of dollars on us. Over there, they don't have that. So one of the things ham radio does is it provides a reliable means of backup communication. Right? I'm sure everybody knows that. Have you ever been what is your knowledge of emergency communications?
That when there is an emergency, there's going to be certain bands that are designated for that emergency.
Okay.
Like when we had the most recent hurricane that came through, Ida.
Right.
Hmm.
Yeah. So Ida was bad for Louisiana, and the FCC actually put out a report of a bunch of cell towers out because they lost power. So when you picture a disaster like this, what happens is hams now will deploy. Oh, and I'll show you this in a minute. But hams will deploy with something like this called a go box. And and I mean, seasoned hams will know exactly what we're talking about. This right, but we're talking about the elevator pitch to, to people who are not in the know. And usually these are like portable kits that that get deployed out, and you see the guy with the microphone, But did you know as well that there is the ability to send email over amateur radio? Did you know that?
No,
Okay.
I think I've heard about that, but I've never seen it done. How's that?
Yeah. So today, a lot of emergency responses with messaging, because for several reasons, it allows basically people who are in the incident, area, the scene, so to speak, the disaster zone,
Hmm.
to pass along written information, spreadsheets, attachments, and such like that easily. They use a number of different systems, such as I think one of the most popular ones is WinLink. Okay,
Hmm.
so WinLink actually is an email system used over radio. And I tell people who are asking about amateur radio, they say, "Yeah, you're guys, people who just do Morse code, right?" I'm like, "Well, yeah, we do that too, and I enjoy Morse code, but we are so much more than that." Okay,
Hmm.
and we have voice communications, we have email for disaster response, we have pictures. Um, yeah. Do you know about California and their wildfire situation, right? So this is the
Right.
California wildfires that are burning, and it's not just California, by the way. Okay.
Hmm.
Um,
Right. They've been in California. I
yeah.
think Arizona has had some things like that.
Oregon had.
Oregon.
Yeah. Also, Canada has wildfires. So one of the things that amateur radio does is, have you ever used any form of like I mean you're like brand new, so you probably haven't, but you heard of like slow scan TV and such like that?
I've heard of slow scan TV, yes.
Um, well, okay. So slow scan TV is one, but these days actually they're using a lot of different means of image communication. And in the wildfires in California, what they actually do is they set up cameras to spot wildfires as they start. So then they could go and notify the fire agencies that, hey, there's a wildfire starting, get it early and nip it in the bud. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, yeah. And it's similar to like, um, it's similar to like these Nest cameras, sort of where you have, the Nest camera spots like somebody doing some on the street or something. You know?
Yes. I
Yeah.
have Arlos that do that. Like they monitor stuff. And then at night,
Hmm.
I've had dogs, I've had bunnies,
Yeah.
I've had cats. I've had
Hmm.
lots of things show up on my cameras, bugs.
Uh-huh.
And you'll actually tell me that the bug is a person, apparently. Yeah.
Yeah. So,
So bugs are
the
people too, just so you know. They're
yeah,
people too, apparently, at least to my system, they are.
right. So wildfires are actually a great use case for amateur radio. So you have different networks that monitor wildfires made up of hams, right? They actually have cameras out in various remote areas, and they have links on the microwave bands, approximately. Well, they have them on 5 gigahertz and 3 gigahertz, and one of the the comments we had to the FCC about the 3 gigahertz band is that this band is important for us for wildfire response. So
Mhm.
um, but it's yeah, so that's one use case. That's an important use case of amateur radio. So when you're telling people about amateur radio, you tell them about all these different things, and you don't. We're not just the people that show up with green vests or yellow vests and yellow lights and um, radios on our belts. I tend to move away from that stereotype sometimes. You know, I do think amateur radio has a lot more professional, well, not professional, but advanced response capability in terms of we're not first responders, but we do help out, right? So,
Right.
yeah. But I want to show you something else too here. And as we were mentioning the ARRL, the league has Ham Aid, and they're actually in the process of revamping Ham Aid, where they send out kits of equipment to various disaster scenes, and then they send out, it has, for example, an HF radio, a power supply, and you see a wire antenna. I think that's a dipole,
Yeah.
or a G5RV or something. And you have VHF antennas and handheld radios, and it's all packaged in a nice Pelican case. So that's real interesting here. And our emergency capability is, has all of that available. So that's emergency communications. And it's not the only thing about amateur radio, but it is a major one. So I know you got involved for prepping, right?
No, that's the reason why my dad got involved.
Okay. So your
Yeah.
dad was a prepper, right?
Yes, my dad was definitely a prepper.
Okay.
You would not. Yeah.
Yeah.
I have MREs in my pantry.
Those things are a little too salty, but
I've not eaten any, and I don't plan to eat any. How's that? And they're just sitting there. So yeah, that's my dad. That's what's my dad's stuff for me. He was definitely a prepper, and I've got a growing where he used to put his heirloom tomatoes at.
Mm-hmm.
He had me. It's still down there too.
Okay. Oh,
So
you
yeah,
mean like seeds? or
Yeah.
dried or
What he would do is he'd save the tomato seeds once we canned them.
right?
And then he would replant them and grow them. And I have a grower downstairs.
Okay. Oh, that's interesting. That's real
Yeah.
interesting.
So,
Yeah.
yeah.
So prepping is personal preparation. It's different from regular emergency communications, and I think it's a very important. It's a growing segment of amateur radio. Believe it or not,
Mm-hmm.
people
Yeah.
are interested in personal communications for grid down, right? Or
Mm-hmm.
off grid, or they're interested, in communications that's not censored. That's even though amateur radio is, it's a licensed radio service, but it's not like
Mm-hmm.
the social media networks. We could just take down your content arbitrarily, and so a lot of people see it as the last frontier of free communication. And I think is in the house.
Oh, Tank's in the house.
Yeah. Welcome to Two Chicks on the Radio. Okay.
Welcome to Two Chicks on the Radio.
Okay.
It's Pat and Rhea.
Yeah.
There.
So grid down communications is becoming more in focus now. You see a lot of people want to do that, right? And this is something I think definitely that will attract more people to AM radio. The good news is I think that can also be like a gateway to involving them in public service.
Yes.
But did you know that it's not only for emergencies, right? Have
No.
you in your area when you do you have like any like major like marathons, walkathons, or anything like that?
Yes, we actually have. We just had the cotton run that I did not run this year.
Okay.
We have the Liz Hurley run that I haven't decided. I think they're doing virtual. I'm not for sure yet. Haven't decided if I'm running it or not.
So I was involved in I just don't have time for it these days. I was involved heavily in the New York City Marathon. Right? So in New York City, they have the marathon every November, and my friend Steve Mendelson, now Silent Key, W2ML, he used to be WA2DHF. The interesting thing is Steve used to be he had my role at ARRL way back when he was a division director, but he retired from that, and then he did the marathon. Unfortunately, we lost him to cancer, but Steve was really involved in that, and ham radio actually was a major part of their communications plan. So you find out that they depended on the hams for a lot of things because their cell phones and stuff, they had that many communications. They couldn't depend on cell phones.
Right.
Excuse me. I don't know if you ever been to New York City. Have you?
No, I have not.
Okay. It's one thing I have to tell you is that
it's a whole different world.
Everything you know about every other place, okay? Excuse me, it does not apply in New York. Okay.
All right.
The cell phone networks there are such a hot mess. Okay. When I first got my first iPhone, I got it on AT&T. I switched from Verizon to AT&T. I could not use the cell phone data at all because all the iPhone traffic just crushed the cell networks. And this was during normal times. Okay?
Okay.
During 9/11, we lost all our cell phone service because the World Trade Center had a bunch of telecoms infrastructure. And, it's really... it'll really blow your mind at how immense and packed together the city is. My state, New Jersey, and my state is densely populated, has, I think, almost 9 million people. I think within New York City alone, there are probably about the same amount or more people, if I'm not mistaken. And during normal times, things can get hairy, You see a lot of road signs that said, congestion alert, take mass transit. They basically tell you don't drive your car because it's just so crowded. So imagine that crush happening on the cell phone networks. When I first got involved in public service communications, we were doing it for a bunch of different marathons regarding, and walkathons. Like, I made a joke and said that how ham radio is going to cure every disease on the planet. We're curing one disease at a time. We had rallies for, we had walkathons for diabetes. We had it for MS. We had it for cancer, all sorts of stuff. And it was really nice to help out these people. One of them tried to use Nextels, and their Nextels, the batteries died within the first 2 hours of the event. So it was just, remember those little Nextel walkie-talkie things?
Oh, yes. When I used to deliver parts back when I was younger,
Right.
auto parts, we had those in the trucks. So I could actually walkie-talkie back to the store, but I could also dial out and make phone calls on it too. So that was really fun.
Yeah. Yeah. You hear like beep beep, and then
Yeah, and I gave my best customers, they had the number, so they could call me before I left the store if I needed to grab anything else and put it on their account. Yeah, that's how good I was.
Yeah. And when I worked for New York City government, that was kind of like, they used to use those, but halfway through the day their batteries would die if they used them a lot.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So the number one thing, the takeaway from this is that a lot of this really doesn't have to do with the equipment, by the way. Radio amateurs have this unique training and skill, and we have we can improvise, we can have our radios work when other radios don't work, when other radio services don't work, one. And two, even when our radios fail, we know how to recover because we are, well, I hope a lot of hams are at least a little bit technically minded. I mean, there are a lot of non-techies in hams, okay? And by the way, there's a whole channel for that too, HR4NT. But, we're actually, a lot of us have a little bit of knowledge of radio at least. And even if we don't know how to build a radio from scratch, we know, or eventually we will learn that when your radio fails, how to recover. Okay? And the people who use a cell phone they buy from the store aren't necessarily going to have that skill. And today, your iPhone or your Android or your whatever new phone, you can't replace the battery anymore.
Yeah. You know what I liked about my Nokia?
That you can replace the battery.
I liked replacing the battery, but it wasn't just that. It's like once they started being able to customize those things, girl, let me tell you, I went and got the short little antenna that had the colors in it. I had the color battery on the back. I had the case on the front, and Lordy mercy, let me tell you, that was the most funnest thing ever.
The last phone I had that had a replaceable battery was wasn't a Nokia. Although I did have a Nokia. I had a Palm Trio, which was a smartphone, right, with a little stylus and such. But that one had a replaceable battery. I had the Palm Centro, which is a smaller one, the much smaller touchscreen Palm phone. And then we had, then after that I went iPhone, and I just never went back to anything else. And then iPhone ushered in the era of non-replaceable batteries for me, and I hate that. Although I kind of get the idea that, well, you can not replace, you can use a power bank and such like that, but And Ham Radio Adventure Guy made a good point. A lot of these phones now have this walkie-talkie feature with Zello. You can use Zello. And the thing is, it's good. It's good as long as your battery lasts and as long as you have cell phone coverage. And as long as, not only cell phone coverage, but you have data. But ham radio works when you don't have data. You don't need anybody's infrastructure.
No, you don't.
Yeah. You can go direct radio to radio And that's something that they don't have. This is not just bragging for bragging's sake. It is a real advantage that we have in the amateur radio service. You can, by the way, you can do that with other radios such as CB radio and GMRS. I'm actually in the process of making a couple of videos about GMRS. But we have this unique capability. So that is something you can tell people. Anyway, that is MCOM and in a nutshell, right?
Yeah.
But I'm sure there's more. So apart from that, what else do you think there is in amateur radio?
Let's see here. There's emergency services. There's the expeditions. Um,
Okay, let's save the talk about the expeditions for later.
exactly.
What about we talked about Steve Goodgame. What does he do?
He's education. He teaches people how to operate the radio and get on the radio. As a matter of fact, one of his Padawans made it to Huntsville, and he's got his amateur extra.
Nice.
And the kid's really super, super smart.
Yeah. So I want to show you something here too, right? And this here is, you have a bunch of kids here, and they're actually waiting on a contact with the International Space Station.
Right. That's another one.
Yeah. So this unique opportunity is made possible with amateur radio. And the ARIS, Amateur Radio on the International Space Station, they're an organization that is a cooperation between ARRL and others, but they're kind of independent now, right? But they're still kind of like, deeply involved with the ARRL. This is one of the things that is a good opportunity for schools. I'm actually working with a school. I'm not doing the heavy lifting on it, by the way. I'm just giving them support to a league. There are actually a few others that are giving them support. That's one guy who didn't want me to mention him at all because he likes to stay in the background.
Gotcha. He likes his autonomy.
KD2TMJ. And then you have AB10C, he's involved in that too. So it's a charter school in my local area in New Jersey. They're having a contact in February, I believe, and I'm going to be going and helping them out. And again, the kids, I actually went there to do a nice presentation on drones. The kids there are just, they're just so enthusiastic, and you show them amateur radio and they get so excited. And, we talk about, getting youth and such into amateur radio. I just don't think we're trying hard enough, No,
we're not. I don't think we are either.
Yeah. I think some people want to keep it a secret, to be honest. But, when you show these kids exciting things, you're not going to just show them sitting on HF on 75 meters and listen to five guys argue about, last year's elections or this year's virus or some other controversial topic, but, some other stuff.
Or what they had for dinner last night and how their wife can't cook and how everything was burnt, but they ate it anyway.
Yeah. There's a net, my friend Ronnie, KG for QLR, Ronnie Styles. He has, he was telling me about a net of guys on 3843 who, they're chicken farmers, okay? And they're somewhere in the South. I think they might be somewhere in Georgia or something.
Okay.
And but they're chicken farmers and they talk about the chickens and such like that. It's cool. My grandfather was a chicken farmer. But that was pretty cool. But but there is so much more to amateur radio than that. And science, I think, is a real draw for people, especially for youth. There is did you see that short film? And ARRL did an interview on that, where I forgot what his name though, where the suit sat. somebody in the audience, please remind me. Okay, there was a short film, where they use a radio. It looked like a GMRS radio, but it was supposed to be ham radio, where Suitsat was now a ghost, and it actually came back to haunt the space station. So that kind of stuff, and that kind of excitement, I think, will drive more people to amateur radio, more sci-fi, scientifically minded people.
Yes.
Yeah. All right.
Back to what we were talking about. I told one of my friends who hunts. I told him, I was like, you need this for when you go hunting. He goes, no, I got walkie-talkies. They're just fine.
Yeah. And it's good to keep in touch, but there is so much more to amateur radio. Yeah.
Yes. Science.
What do you think this is? What do you think these guys are doing here?
Oh, those are balloons.
Okay. What do you know about ham radio balloon launches?
No, nothing about ham radio balloon launches.
Okay. I mentioned APRS. So the two things, here's pop quiz time. I mentioned two things about APRS. What are they?
Oh my goodness. APRS. Okay, you can send APRS is where they send a ham aid.
No. Right. So APRS is where they send messages, or you send position, right?
Yes, messages or position. That's it. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Right. So you can actually APRS is kind of like Find My iPhone for, kind of like similar for amateur radio, right? Find My or so. And what these people do, and please let us not become W5KUB. They talk about balloons a lot. You can see a lot on theirs. But
no, but doesn't he have like one of them ham aid attached to the balloon?
No, he has like a little APRS transceiver up there.
Because I saw an orange thing attached to it.
Yeah. I really haven't, watched a lot of their balloon content, to be honest. I know I saw him launching the balloon with that other guy, and, it was kind of interesting. But, no, so they launch an APRS payload. They might launch a camera up there too, but the APRS payload actually helps them monitor where the balloon is, the altitude. They have altitude sensors. They have GPS on there, and you can track this balloon across the world. It'll be beaconing. And it's a cool little science experiment. And a lot of kids, and adults too, to be honest, they get intrigued by this. So, that's something cool you can do with amateur radio as well. All right.
On another note, somebody locally in Alabama.
Yeah.
You remember the movie Twister?
Yeah, I do.
Okay, you remember the thing Dorothy?
Yes.
These people built Dorothy.
Oh, really?
Yes, but I don't think it was launchable Dorothy either. But it was funny. My friend apparently was outside the store, took a picture of it. I don't have the picture, and I forgot which friend posted it. But it was the most hilarious thing I've seen in a minute. It was back when we were having like all that weather from Ida and potential tornadoes.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so somebody goes, well, did Bill Pullman and Helen Hunt come out of the store? And they go, no, it was two guys. But they had it, and I swear it said Dorothy on it and everything, and looked like it was about, I was like, oh my God, they don't plan on launching that for real, do they?
I don't think so.
I hope not. Yeah. Anyway. But it was funny. It was funny.
Yeah. So, yeah. So, I mean, these, balloon launching is becoming real popular in amateur radio, and I think that's, that's something you definitely want to encourage people in, But I mean, there are other little things that the people get involved in too. So amateur radio has definitely an education component to it, and we're going to be seeing more from Steve on that too. But in general, hams, we have a kind of an obligation to educate others, and
Right.
I wouldn't say that we have to, but it's kind of like it's a good thing for us to do. It's in our basis and purpose, which is we have to retain a pool of qualified electronics experts, and it's, we do a lot of learning. So I save perhaps the best one, and I just killed a mosquito here. So many mosquitoes these days.
I swear, I went outside. And I
Yeah.
wasn't out long, and I just went outside to go throw trash away, and I got a mosquito bite on my thumb.
What? On your thumb? I've never seen that.
Yeah, right here. You can't really see it, but it's right
Yeah, I
here.
can. I'll
It's
remove
on my
this.
knuckle right here.
Oh my god.
See
Oh
it?
yeah, I can see that. That's red.
Yeah. Yeah. Little bastard. That's what I want to say. If I'd have found him, I'd have smacked him. By the way, FYI, I bought this thermocell thing, and
Yeah.
it keeps mosquitoes at bay up to 15 feet.
Oh
And
really?
it actually works because when I go outside to grill,
Uh-huh.
I throw it on so that way when I'm grilling, I have zero
Yeah.
mosquitoes.
I was gonna get one of those mosquito things that emits, small amounts of carbon dioxide, and then the mosquitoes come and they get sucked into a trap.
Well, you know what? That's all nice and everything, but I tried this fly trap outside my house, and I kept coming inside the house. I wondered what every time the wind blew, I wondered what the heck was smelling like
Yeah.
straight
Like
up
poop.
carcasses.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was the fly trap. So needless to say, I'm never doing that again.
One of my friends got a Dyna trap.
Oh yeah, I've seen those around. How those work? And do they
So
work
he-
for flies?
He says he says it doesn't catch as many mosquitoes as it catches moths.
Okay.
It catches a lot of moths.
Well, I can probably put it outside and it'll probably get rid of the armyworm moths for me.
Yeah. But yeah, no, he keeps emptying. I mean, it does, the ultraviolet light does attract them. But
Okay, what about flies? Does it capture flies?
yeah, anything that's attracted to light. The thing about mosquitoes is mosquitoes aren't really attracted to light. Mosquitoes are attracted to carbon dioxide. Right? Because they sense what you breathe out.
Well, apparently they like my O negative blood. Okay?
Yes, they do.
They love my O negative blood, and I don't know why, because I'm not trying to donate to them.
Yeah,
Okay.
apparently there is a reason, I think, because they use the proteins from it to make the eggs. So the females, and you only really get bitten by females. The male's job is to go by your ears and buzz and distract you, okay? And
Okay.
then the female will come and then, bite you somewhere else, suck
So
your blood.
basically, they're a distractor while she bites me.
Right. It's
Okay,
like
well,
Bonnie and Clyde.
they need to be smacked too.
Yeah.
Okay, that's all I'm saying. And my kids have O positive blood. They don't have as many mosquito bites as I got.
Okay.
It's got to be it's something with O negative blood. I swear.
Yeah. I am A negative. So
Yeah. And here's the funny thing: out of all my siblings
yeah.
that I have with my mom and my dad, I'm the only one that has O negative. Everybody else has got O positive.
Wow. My mom was an O positive and my dad was an AB positive. Talk about complete opposites. Like, dad's a universal recipient and mom's universal donor.
Actually, no. Universal donor is O negative.
Okay, right. Well, she was O positive then.
She's universal recipient.
No, O is universal donor. All O's are universal donor. AB is yeah. I think you do have to match the negative, because that's the RH negative. And somehow I got negative. I don't know how.
Because you have O negative.
Yeah, no, I have A negative.
Okay, that means your mom had a negative allele, and so did your dad.
Okay, well.
Yeah, trust me. I went round and round with doctors about this because they told me that yeah, O negative is the universal donor, right, because it's compatible with any blood type.
Okay. So, T-Ray 883 is asking, I wish the ARRL would update their band frequency chart. Okay. Um, I'm not sure what you need updated, but let me know. You know, let me know what you want to see updated, and I'll see if I could take that back to them. So anyway, this brings on to the next thing. So we mentioned DXing, and we had two news items on DXing, right? Tell me what you know about DXing.
Basically, you travel to different parts of the world, preferably remote parts of the world, and you transmit from there and make contacts.
That's one thing. That's
Okay.
one thing. But, um, you know,
And it's a nice little vacation, apparently.
yeah, that's de-expeditioning, right? So de-expeditioning is where you travel to different places. DXing is where you try to contact those people,
Right.
right? And DXing, I'm gonna be so bragging right now. DXing is a fun hobby within amateur radio, okay? And I'm gonna share this Chrome tab with you, where I don't know if you've actually gotten, let's see, all right, got to the point where you're DXing. There we go. So if you look on my QRZ page, I have a lot of talk about my DX awards and such like that, because I love DXing. I worked 320. Well, I don't have the 325 sticker here. I need to put it on. But I've worked 327 countries or entities. I have a bunch of different bands, and I operate the contest too.
Braggy there.
Hey, you know what? I think it's inspiration for a lot of people.
Hey, I'm not complaining. I'm just sitting here saying braggy. There you go.
You want to know something cool? And Kay Craigie signed my certificate for some reason. But here's the thing, though. One of the nice side effects from working all that DX is I have so many friends worldwide now. Okay? And once you get into DXing, you'll find that you make friends with a lot of people. People like to rag on FT8 all the time, say, oh, FT8 is computers talking to computers. It needs no skill. I get tired of that. Okay? I don't think so. I think FT8 is awesome. It's a tool in your toolbox. I still like the traditional modes. I love CW. Okay? I love my Morse code. I do FT8, and I do mostly FT8 in Morse code. I do, a lot of that. But one of the things is that when you work people, when you make contact with them and you exchange your QSL cards, or even if you just exchange Logbook of the World confirmations, or even if you just talk to them on air, you make this personal connection. And believe it or not, it's even with FT8, okay? Right. So, you do make this personal connection. And one of the purposes of amateur radio is that we foster international goodwill. Now, let me quiz you on something.
Okay.
That you can contact people on the internet worldwide, right?
Yes.
What's different between contacting people on the internet versus on amateur radio?
The internet, you can contact anybody, and you don't have to have an FCC license. In radio, you have to have an FCC license.
Yeah, that's true. But the other thing about amateur radio that makes amateur radio unique is that you find that by default, okay, you don't have this air of, sometimes you do have it, but when you make international contacts, you're kind of expected to be polite.
Yes.
Right? On the internet, you know how internet trolls are, right? I've
Oh,
had
yeah.
like trolls and such like that.
I have trolls all the time. I get emails from them left and right, and oh my goodness.
Yeah, over the years, you kind of have to grow a thick skin. I I mean, you know, I've been on both ends of trolling, but
Oh, you mean you've
oops.
trolled people before, Rhea? Oh my goodness, you've been that troll?
No,
No.
no, no, no. Not to be nasty and mean to people,
But
but
you're being nice, right?
I try to be nice to people. But when they get on my
Um,
nerves,
well, sometimes I get on my nerves too. I got a troll out there on Twitter lands every now and then.
yeah,
No, I've learned how to have thick skin.
yeah,
Um, and then you know, just learn to like let it off my roll off like water, like duck on water.
yeah,
Because back when I was in school, I was the shortest one in class, so I got picked on all the time.
yeah. So
Yeah,
yeah, there are some trolls on the radio. There are some mean people on the radio.
I can
I
be mean back.
generally haven't found that on the radio they at least for DX contacts, for international contacts, you don't have that kind of really animosity against people in across borders. It's much easier on the internet to do, right? Unfortunately, some of that is bleeding into amateur radio, and it's always been there. But I think it's at a much lower level. But amateur radio somehow, for some reason, and I'm yet to put my finger on it, we kind of, you know, have a unique ability to enhance international goodwill that goes beyond just basically making contact with people. We make contact, um, we share a lot of things online. Like we talk about our, we have the common bond of our radio setups, our technology. We talk about weather. We talk about, and I think the main thing that helps us is that generally on air, and yes, if you listen to 75 meters, you will hear a lot of it. You will hear that, um, you know, when you work DX, when you talk to distant people, you don't really involve religion and politics, which is never, a good thing.
No, you don't do that in work either. That's one of the things. Or out in
Yeah.
public, unless of course you want a mob on your hands.
Yeah,
That.
and there are lids in amateur radio. There are people who just make people lives miserable, but it's kind of like amateur radio had international communication down pat before the internet came along. So we've kind of refined our method of it. Um, but I always tell people, when you're on the radio, be kind because the whole world is listening. You know, the whole world is
Exactly.
listening.
Talk to people how you want to talk to. How you want them to talk to you is the best advice I can give, because
Right.
that's the best thing, is just talk to people how you want to be treated.
Yeah.
If you don't be talked to a certain way, then don't um, talk to them that way.
Yeah. So anyway, that is the elevator pitch for amateur radio. One, you can help out your community. Two, you can prepare for yourself. Three, you can participate in very meaningful STEM education initiatives, right? And not just STEM, by the way, geography and other things too, right? Even
Mm-hmm.
foreign languages, okay? Because I learned a little bits of foreign language. I mean, I speak two of them, but I um, I learned bits of other foreign languages and other cultures and such like that. So you enhance your worldview. Now, um, the final one is that you make a lot of friends worldwide, and you have this bond, and you tend to ham radio operates more like a global community. Yes, it's not going to be completely friendly. I mean, yes, there is a lot of ugly in amateur radio, but I think for the most part we get along fine. All right, so that is that in a nutshell.
All right.
So, any plans for this week or amateur radio? What are you gonna do with your newfound knowledge?
Well, we do my newfound knowledge. finished studying for my general, so I can pass my test.
Okay.
I had
That's
I had
good.
I had to put it on hold temporary because I needed to
Sure.
pass
I know life gets in the way.
more.
Yeah.
So no, but tomorrow I am picking up
Mm-hmm.
a. I'll share it with you. You'll pull it up the screen. Mm-hmm. Let's see here. Okay. Okay, let's see if it'll let me do that. Yes, it will. Okay. All right. I'm picking up this little girl tomorrow.
Aw.
Hold
Have
on.
you decided? I know.
Here it is.
Wow. That's cute.
Yeah, she's adorable. I haven't decided on a name yet.
Yeah, I know. I guess you guys in chat, could come up with a name if you wanted to.
Or not. I mean, I've come up with Ember,
Okay.
Raven.
Mm-hmm.
I've scratched out Mystique and Harley Quinn's still up on the board, and Selena.
Okay. You know what? I'm sure those will be fine. So I'm
I'll
sure people
I'll
also
figure out
take bets on which one you'll go with.
We could take bets. Who wants to take bets on which one we're going to go with?
Oh man.
Be careful what you wish for.
Yeah.
Oh my
You
god.
you have do you have an APRS capable radio?
No, all I have is my ICOM 51A.
Yeah, that does DPRS, which is D star.
Yeah, no, I don't have an APRS.
Yeah, I have the Kenwood, which does both analog and digital APRS. So it's kind of something. So all right. Well, this week, let me see what else I'm gonna do this week. We have National Drone Safety Awareness Week. I'm gonna be at one of their events on Sunday up here in Garrett Mountain, New Jersey. So if you guys are around and you want to stop by Garrett Mountain, I'll be there. But it'll be drones. I'll be talking about drones. I'll be, with the New Jersey Drone Users Group, and we're a small club of both recreational and Part 107 drone pilots, and we basically try to advance drone safety in the community, and we also have fun fly-ins and at various places. So are you doing anything for SET this year? Can you speak on Aries? October is Aries month. I wanted to do Aries live stream this Sunday, but I had something come up and I couldn't do it. So I do actually plan to do my live stream, which is Live with Rhea, on Sunday regarding MCOM. It'll be right after the ARRL. I have a committee meeting with actually the MCOM committee this weekend on Sunday. So I'm going to be, fresh hot off the press with that. And I'm going to be talking about Aries. So yes, so I'm going to be doing that. All right. And that'll be cool. People are already making suggestions for names,
Buttercup is going to be out. Betsy is going to be out too. That's just going to be out. I know a cat named Damn It. That's funny. Yeah. I was calling the other one Little Shit. His name would probably end up being Little Shit. And people probably would have been like, why are you naming the cat Little Shit? I mean, well, it's little and it's a little shit. I mean, that cat was up my hiney all the time. No, this cat, she's not going to be up my hiney, because my friend who fosters and does the rescues and stuff, she said, if you want this one, there was a calico, white face calico, because the other calico was black face. Or ink black, because she had her whole side of her, like right through here, was nothing but black on her nose. So the white face one would be at my hiney. So was the little tabby boy. And the other one, the one that I picked out, she's like, no, this one, she'll only be loved on, but then she'll go walk away. That's the one I want.
Mm,
I don't
okay.
want. I already have 2 dogs stuck in my honey. I don't need a cat.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I don't blame you.
I mean, I have cats. I mean, I've had Luna, the cat I had before, which was a
Uh-huh.
calico. She's really, really pretty. She was very much. She would like come up to you and like want you to pet her, but then when she had enough, she was like, I'm done. I'm going away now.
This is November
Whoops.
3,
Sorry.
Victor Echo Mike with your month end news. We have
Sorry.
Uh,
Yeah. Anyway, I didn't mean to play that, but I jumped the gun. So,
it's fine. Oh my
before-
God. Joseph Collins said call her stir fry.
Yeah. So anyway, we do have so the POTA guys have been sending us POTA updates. So if you want to we could play the POTA update, and that we'll probably end the show with that. All right.
That's fine. We can do that.
Yeah. And yeah, I know Scott Anderson. Yeah, you know what? I've been meaning to get around to that. I will definitely do that. Maybe I'll do that right after the show. Yeah. I will. I'll do that. I'll say exercise, 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 record. Maybe I'll do it like Skeletor. Exercise, exercise, exercise.
No, you got to do it like Richard Simmons. Okay, y'all.
Yeah.
Let's go.
No, I'll do it like a serious radio operator. Exercise, exercise, exercise.
This is Richard Simmons. All right, y'all. And he's like walking around.
Yeah.
You remember his little videos?
And then
My
Dion
aunt
is
had his
saying,
videos.
yeah, I had a
Oh,
birthday
yeah.
recently.
Was
Yes,
her
I
birthday was
had a
yesterday?
birthday yesterday. Oh, my
Yesterday
birthdays are so
was
far
her
away. Yeah,
birthday. And you're
Yeah.
still what, 29? Is that right, Rhea?
probably, yeah.
I'm still 29. I'm forever
Yeah.
29.
Yeah.
You ever get me a
Scott, no.
birthday cake?
Yeah, just to clear the air, Scott, no, I don't mind. Okay? Trust me, you are not. But you know what? My bad. I will get it done. Okay?
Or we can just do. So you
Yeah,
want to
I think I'll get Kat to do one too.
exercise, exercise, exercise.
Yeah. No, I'll do it. I'll do it seriously. I think I really I want to do that because I thank you, Brian, 88GI. I actually got one cool thing, which is an RSC2, but that's a DJI gimbal. I got health and strength. I got everything I need.
There's another DJI thing. It's Josh had it at the Hamfest.
Yeah.
It was a little camera. No, not that.
Oh, the Pocket.
Yes. It's like $200 or something.
Yeah, I'm not a big fan of the Pocket.
Okay. Why?
It's nice. It's nice. I think I have my phone already. Thank you, Joseph Collins, and thank you, Ham Radio Adventure Guy. I'm not a big fan of the Pocket because it's a small sensor and I like bigger sensor cameras. I mean, I have a lot of small cameras already. I have my ZV-1. I have my iPhone. So I don't know what niche that'll fill for me. I already have the OM4, okay? And, one of my friends who used to work at DJI in China, he kind of like said, well, he was expecting a little more from the OM5. So I'm like, okay, should I wait for OM6? I'm like, okay, well, but OM4, which is this, smartphone gimbal, already does so much, and it's so neat and versatile. And, I just put my phone on, and I do like this. You see?
Mm-hmm.
And then, I could stabilize my phone this way. Well, I'm totally abusing this, but see?
Really and truly, this is the camera I've got.
Mm-hmm.
And I think I find it.
Yeah.
Because I just need. No, that's not what I need. That's not what I wanted either. Hold on.
Thank you, Submarine Radio Man. And Paul Hopman. And yeah, you can hit the thumbs up and be sure to subscribe to both channels to get both our shows.
Yes.
Yeah. I passed 5K. I want to have something to celebrate 5K. At the rate I'm going, though, I'll probably be celebrating 6K soon, which is good.
I'm gonna share that.
Yeah. Scott, you know what? I don't mind presenting at SparkFest. So I don't know what Kat's schedule is like, but
that's
I present for a lot of clubs.
Oh, that's in Missouri.
Yeah, I mean it's on Zoom.
Oh yeah, we can definitely do that. Just get with us and we can do that. Okay. This is for what I know, it's a little bit more. It's just as expensive as the DJI, and it actually is the 360 mod for the camera.
So this is not bad. I know a couple huge YouTubers who use that one.
Yeah, I like it. I like it a lot.
Yeah, I know who uses that one. I think 51 Drones, who I follow. Russ, he uses one of those, and also what you call it?
They actually have an aerial mod for it where you can actually do drone footage.
Oh, really?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think, all right, Louis Rossman, I think, was walking around New York with one of those, so it's interesting. All right. Thanks, Mel. You can taste salt water. Uh-oh. Okay. Okay. Right. Yeah. So that's cool. All right. And thank you, Mike. And by the way, I did meet up with a few. I met up with 2 Victor Radio and this other guy at Saratoga County Ham Fest this weekend. If you follow me on Facebook, I post a picture of a video of the burger stand, and they had a vent outside with all the grease, and it's like, that was kind of, I think they had too much grease coming out and was leaking on the roof.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right, so we're getting ready to wrap this up. It's 10:42 in the East Coast, and
it's 9:43 here.
Yeah. We'll play the POTA update. So the POTA guys have been sending us updates on stuff, and they try to feature it on the various live streams. So we'll play this, and then we'll see you next week. All right.
We will.
But are you getting the Insta360, by the way, or is it something?
I already have it.
Oh, you have it?
Yeah, I just don't have that mod.
Oh.
Mm-hmm. I already have the camera.
Nice.
I just don't have the mod.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. I think somebody asked about your Twitter. Okay. All right, so let's do this POTA update.
2 exciting updates to share with everybody. This is November 3, Victor Echo Mike, with your month ending August 2021 Parks on the Air update. Be sure to visit parksontheair.com for more information about the program, and POTA.app for spotting, park information, leaderboards, and more. This month in Parks on the Air news, we have 2 exciting updates to share with everybody. First, we are excited to announce that we have recently added over 1,000 parks to the Parks on the Air system. For the last several months, we've had a small contingent of volunteers combing through user requests to add additional parks. validating that those requested parks meet the criteria for inclusion in POTA, and formatting the list so that they could be added to the system. After hundreds of volunteer hours, the lists are now in the system and ready for you to go activate. Check out the maps and search pages at POTA.app to see if any of these new units are in your area. Also in POTA news, we're excited to share that we are formalizing a Parks on the Air support desk. You can always continue to get community support via the Facebook group or via the POTA Help channel in the POTA Slack group, but we have a small group of volunteers that have agreed to be on a rotating schedule to help you with your official technical support questions. To reach the official POTA support desk, all you need to do is send an email to help@parksontheair.com. We have coverage for most days of the week, so you will usually get a response within 24 hours, but no worse than 48 hours based on our volunteers' schedules. We won't solve every problem that fast, but you'll know that we're on it. Issues requiring Level 2 support are generally resolved within the week. And now for our monthly update. August was a very busy month for Parks on the Air. During the month, there were over 180,000 contacts made by about 1,200 different activators. They put nearly 3,000 parks on the air from 25 different DX entities, and all of those parks and entities were hunted by more than 23,000 different hunters. The top activators for the month were K7CAR with 3,399 QSOs and W0YES, who activated 72 different parks. The top hunter for the month was N5HA with 967 QSOs while hunting 691 different parks. In our POTA DX corner, Canada was unsurprisingly the most active entity outside of the continental United States, with 12,382 QSOs being made from parks in the Great White North. Not to be outdone, however, we had quite a bit of activity from Japan, Alaska, Puerto Rico, England, Wales, France, and many others. The top DX activators for the month were VE9MY with 1,579 QSOs and VE2NCG, who activated 26 parks. And this concludes our August 2021 Parks on the Air update. As always, the team at Parks on the Air wishes you safe activations and happy hunting. 73.
All right, they're going to send these out every month, so, we'll throw that on the show whenever they send it out. It's good, to good keep people about Parks on the Air. All right, okay, well, time to tie the ribbons on it. She's on mute. You're on mute. You're on mute. You're on mute.
Oh my God, I forget. I'm on mute. All right, I muted myself while that was happening, so that way if the kid was doing anything in the background, it wouldn't be heard. Yeah. All right, so this is Kat, W4DXY.
Welcome to... No, wait, wrong channel.
We're saying bye, not welcome. This is the so long, nice to see you. Forgive my hair mess. It's a mess.
Yeah, I'm always a mess. All right.
Yours is always a mess. Is that what you're saying?
Well, my hair, I don't know. I need to tame my wild hair.
Wild. It's all right. We'll discuss that later.
All right. 73, y'all.
73, everybody. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like, subscribe, hit the notification bell to both of our channels. Don't forget to follow us on Twitter, me on Insta. Rhea, you're on Insta too, right?
I am at Rhea Jaram and also at Rhea Jaram on Twitter.
Yes. So don't forget to like us, subscribe to everything, and don't forget to follow us on Twitter and on Insta. And I'm on TikTok.
I'm kind of on TikTok. I probably should.
Well,
do that,
I do mostly like, hey, DixieDX is cooking today. Do you want to know what I'm cooking? And then I just show everybody what I'm cooking. Or I go out places and I video people, and they're down there like arguing, and I put music to it.
Interesting. All right.
Bye, everybody.
Goodbye, everybody.